Hello and welcome back to the CCL. We are here in Stage 2. I'm Rome DMV, joined alongside Cash, and let's be honest, Stage 2, things are heating up for sure, and we've got a great matchup on our hands right here.
We do. We're going to dive into this Western Top Cut Tier 1 pool for this evening. And yeah, like you said, things are heating up, and they're only going to get better as the weeks go on.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, we got squads that were undefeated in Stage 1 coming into Stage 2, getting hit with a little bit of a reality check if I do say so myself. I mean, a lot of teams that were undefeated now got a lot of losses on their record simply because, guess what, Stage 2, you're going up against a lot tougher competition if you find yourself in that Tier 1 category. And one of those squads that I'm talking about right now, we're going to be witnessing today. It's going to be St. Edward's University. They're going to be going up against the University of New Mexico. And let's be honest, I mean, with these two squads being here, there is a reason that they are here in Tier 1 today.
Yeah, both have a lot to prove coming off of losses, like you had mentioned, coming into this stage. You're in the best of the best, playing against the best of the best. You're going to take a hit, and for me this week coming out, it's going to be how these teams look to improve after taking a couple of losses.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm looking at UNM currently. They're 0-4 in Stage 2, so definitely not going to be a good start for them. And then, on the other side in St. Edward's, they're 2-2, so still going to be a rocky start for them as well after, they went through Stage 1 flawless, not dropping any series. So, I mean, definitely going to be interesting to see how each squad are going to be bouncing back. If UNM are going to be able to get their first win against a squad like St. Edward's that have been reeling recently. I mean, right here in Stage 2, the sky's the limit for these squads. I think the UNM, they're in this Tier 1 for a reason. And honestly, if there's a squad to do it against, it's going to be the St. Edward's squad that is starting to reel a bit.
Yeah, and playing against competition this good, you stand a very good chance to play up to your competition. So it feels weird calling these top teams underdogs in these situations because, of course, they've proven that they're the best of the best. But yeah, even if you find yourself in that underdog situation within this tier, you have a really good chance to play up to great competition. And that's only going to serve to make you a better team as we go along.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, let's go ahead and look at these squads head to head. Let's see how they stack up against each other when it comes to their seasons as a whole. So this combines Stage 1 and Stage 2. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the full breakdown. If you look at the side of St. Edward's, overall 11-2. Their last two losses have come in Stage 2. So against other notable teams. So if you look at the side of UNM, they were 9-1 coming into Stage 2, and they've taken 4 losses in a row. So definitely going to be looking to bounce back. But Cash, what's really sticking out to you right here, right now, in the hard point in the search and destroy and control wins and loss ratios?
I think really the overall, the season record looks a lot worse for UNM than what their individual map pools break down. You only suffer a couple more losses. The wins are the same, though, in comparison to St. Edward's. So on paper, at first glance, you look at that overall record and go, ooh, 9-5 to 11-2, that's not too sharp. And then you kind of get into more of the detailed picture, and you see, okay, so they took some unfortunate losses, but really, this could shake down to go either way, depending on who gets rolling. So for me, you see the 11-2 and the 9-5, but as you keep reading along, you start to realize, maybe these teams aren't too different.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, that's what you stated, and I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You guys look at the numbers. I mean, both squads pretty even overall. The one place that I'm looking at is that control, though, where it looks like UNM have been struggling quite a bit. So maybe that control not going to be their strong point in Stage 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at the home team, the number 12 St. Edward's University. Let's go ahead and look at this roster. They are consisting of Thresh, Vanity, Eons, and Reality. And I mean, this squad right here, they're number 12 for a reason, but they're looking to move up into that top 10, and decisive win over UNM might be putting them over that hump.
And that's paved by Thresh. That's been the player who's really led the way for them this season. But again, whenever you're this good and you're ranked 12, that's for a reason, and that's not because of one player alone. All 4 of these players have shown throughout this season and this stage by itself that they can have takeover maps and modes and do what they need to get the team to win. They don't rely on a one-man effort to get things done. And at this point, you can't. It has to be a balanced effort. So the St. Edward squad's definitely poised and capable of doing just that.
Oh, completely. And now if we go ahead and take a look at the visiting squad in UNM, they're going to be coming in hot with Maddie, Dahmers, Solar, and Rocket. And I mean, looking at this squad top to bottom, I feel like you got some things, a little bit of info about this roster right here.
Yeah, where this team has found success is whenever Maddie is playing really well. And so if that's really going to be what I'm looking at as kind of the early indicator in this series as far as the success the University of New Mexico can find. If Maddie can get rolling early, the rest of the squad is going to follow suit. So that's what I'm going to have my eye on for the squad.
All right. Well, hey, you guys heard it here first from Cash herself. And I mean, let's go ahead and take a look at the maps that we're going to be getting into. We're going to be starting things off very, very nicely. It's going to be a nice ease into it. It's not going to be the madness of Bow Cage. All right, we're going to Berlin for hardpoint number 1. And I mean, I like this to start this one off, to start this series.
I do too. You get in certain positions on the maps where, in certain hills where you're going to have a lot of exchanges and a lot of gunfights, so you kind of get that scrappy messiness that you see in maybe a Bacage hardpoint. But you also get to see what teams are well prepped and able to take their rotation, so you kind of get a full picture of a squad as far as their respawn gameplay goes whenever you kick things off with Berlin.
Oh, yeah, precisely. It's going to be a good one for sure. And then game number 2 is going to be that Bocage S&D, and then we're going to be going to Tuscan Control. Then we're going back to Tuscan for a hard point. And then last but not least, if necessary, we're going to have that Berlin Search and Destroy to wrap things up. And I mean, honestly, the way these squads are looking, there's no reason that this could not end up on a Berlin S&D, simply because these two squads coming into today, I mean, they're pretty even if you ask me.
Yeah, and I really think if we happen to go the distance, I think that advantage is going to favor New Mexico. I mean, you look at St. Edwards and they're sitting 10-3 in Search and Destroy, and New Mexico sitting at 10-5. So I think as the series starts to progress and maybe lengthen and extend, New Mexico are going to find success if they can push this the distance to a game number 5, especially against a squad as good as St. Edwards.
Oh, for sure. That's what I'm going to be looking for. It's going to be extremely nice to see if we can get that game 5. I mean, I'm kind of hoping for it, not going to lie. I mean, this is my last series of the night, so I'm expecting some fireworks. I want some awesome action. I want some highlights. I want some clippable things. I'm ready for it all. It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, we should be in for a really good series, and you break down that it could go the distance, but at the same time, you're looking at tier 1, and you really just have to hit all sides of the story when you get to this tier, because if one team gets rolling, it could very easily be a 3-0. It's so hard to call. You want to try to make the best prediction you can based on what you see on paper, but really, it's going to be once we get into the match and see who's rolling tonight that we can start to make some accurate predictions.
Oh, yeah, precisely. I mean, I think that this first map in Berlin is going to be a nice way to see for both of these squads exactly where they're at coming into today, how warmed up they are, seeing if somebody, just got home, just got out their car, had their drink in hand, had their food in hand, walking in, saying, I'm here, guys, I'm here, and not warmed up at all. That sometimes happens. It happens to all of us, some days. So we just got to be ready for who's actually ready and warmed up today in this first map. And I mean, let's be honest. I've seen some of my craziest casts. I've had some of my craziest casts on Berlin Hardpoint. I've had so many 250, 249s on this specific map. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I don't know if I'm going to be seeing that again, but I'm definitely going to be hyped for it, because this map, the way it ends up playing out, it ends up with so many close finishes, so many rotations that are so massive. I mean, this map right here is, in my opinion, the definition of Hardpoint.
It is. You get that full picture, everything you want in a respawn. You get high engagement, high interaction rates on some of the hills, like I had mentioned earlier, and then also rotations. And St. Edwards is a team that will punish you if you are not rotating the way you should be in New Mexico. They have to take advantage early, being on this good side, just to try to get as much of a lead as they can.
And we're going to be starting off as, both squads just coming in, just fighting for position. Dahmers is going to be getting a nice start at 2-0, but it's going to be Reality putting him down. And UNM with a nice early start, as you stated, not going to be letting anything come through as they're locking this one down nicely to kick things off.
The first 12 seconds of time, and you kind of keep the kill feed going back and forth there for a bit. Definitely a way you want to start. Now it's going to be St. Edwards end to get the most significant amount of time here on the hill, looking at about 20-25 seconds, which they will be afforded the rest of the scrap. But on the rotation, gunfight going to be won early for the side of New Mexico, but player number 4 in Reality playing that cutoff to get over to P2, and that's going to be vital for this team since they're late on the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, Reality was able to pick off 3 rotational players, which is going to be absolutely huge for this squad. Now it's going to be Thresh in the 1v1. This is the big rotational kill right here, right now, that he has to win, and it's going to be Dahmers that picks him off from the side. But either way, the mailrooms has already been controlled by Reality as they get back. But I mean, the entire dockside is completely controlled by UNM. But I mean, that might not be enough. It looks like this squad in St. Edwards doing everything that they need to right now inside the hill.
They're doing just that, and if Rocket can find this kill, that would make the flank worthwhile, but unfortunately not going to be able to. You pick up one, and your teammates weren't able to get the rest around that. It's going to be 3 for 1 in the feed. St. Edwards are going to be back on it, so if you're UNM, the only time you've been able to get was that opening break on P1. You've got to try to find a way to win a rotation and get a substantial amount of time, because when St. Edwards blows games open, it can be very hard to come back from. Not a map like Berlin, where you have quite the hike. If you miss a rotation, it can be punishing.
Yeah, and the big thing is that Eons is fully streaked out, and he's going to make it 8 right now, as he's 9-1, going off. And, I mean, right here, he's locking down the spawns on this rotation. This is going to be a massive 1v1. He's going to be winning that one, too. Make it 9 in a row, as he's going to be trying to hit those double-digit marks. Eons, this whole kill feed is going towards St. Edwards right here, right now. And, I mean, honestly, he might as well call it some streaks, because he's locking this bad boy down perfectly.
He is, and I know I said Thresh is the player to watch out for the squad, but that it could be a balanced attack. And really, when you go up against the St. Edwards squad, it feels like a game of whack-a-mole, right? You're like, okay, who's going to pop off tonight? Who do we need to handle? And what shows true testament in teams is how they're able to adapt to that. Eons pops 3, now sitting at 13-1. This has just been the ideal start if you're St. Edwards.
He's on 12 in a row, ladies and gentlemen, making it, almost 13. Yes, he's going to get that unlucky number, but will that luck be ending here? We just got to wait and find out. I mean, when you're fully streaked out, you've got 13 kills in a row. Nothing that's going to be walking in front of your reticle is going to be safe, as it looks like Dahmers is going to be his next potential victim, as he's going to be making his way over for these rotational kills. I mean, if he can get these spawns again, this would be a full hill without dying. He got the rotations on the last hill, didn't die yet, and I mean, he might be able to see Dahmers as Dahmers does stand up. This could be kill number 14. Yes, it's going to be coming in, but it's not going to be him, as Roque ends up getting it instead. Oh man, but that's going to be it. 14. He's in the back of the spawn, making it all happen. That's going to be number 15, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, what are we witnessing out of Eons right now? As he's going to be going up top. He said, I'm locking down whatever I want, and you're not going to be getting me out of any positions. Make it 16. Eons ahead of the competition right now, as they're almost up by 100 off of his back. My goodness, what an animal.
We were gassing this as a tier 1 best of the best type of thing, and Eons is making it look like he's playing pubs. Sitting at 17-2, an unbelievable, I want to say start, but we're halfway through the game. Just an unbelievable game thus far out of Eons and the St. Edwards squad. Vanity on 5 of his own now with a minute of hill time. Just impressive stat lines across the board. New Mexico have found a way to not get any position on the map. They just have been unable to get any kind of time. And behind us, you know, the kill streak that Eons went on, it's very hard to. Can they adapt? Take a punch and try to get some time on the board? We'll have to find out, but now that you've dug an 120-point hole, it just may be too much. And I know it's early on, it's in the mid-game, there's still a chance, and it's never chalked, but it's really got to be something magical.
Yeah, shout out to Eons, though. That was the highest streak that I've seen so far in Vanguard. That is unreal. Yeah. I never seen that in my life. I've never seen anyone get over 15. I don't even know if in all of COD. Like, I don't even know what the highest kill streak is that I've seen in competitive COD. Either way, shout out to Eons, because, I mean, right now, this squad, 130-point advantage, and they only need 90 more points in order to get this one. So, I mean, at this point, a 2-for-1 trade in the kill feed is going to be very, very positive still for St. Edwards. So, I mean, listen, honestly, this squad right here, right now, they're doing everything on the map. Every single player in UNM is negative currently, with Maddie currently sitting at quadruple negative. So, I mean, anytime that's happening, you're just going to be dominating the map, and that's what we're seeing here today.
Yeah, Vanity sitting on 8 of his own, which will be interesting to see how this ends up going out. But with the kill feed being blue, his teammates aren't giving him, you know, a chance to even find a kill. Has been more than dominant from the side of St. Edwards. New Mexico just unable to find their way out of this at the moment.
See, now I'm spoiled. Like, I see 8, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's not, whatever.
That's chump change, you know?
Exactly. He gets 9. Okay, all right, cool. That's cool. Can he get double digits, though? Can you match Eons? Let's see what he can do. Because right now, he's going to be locking this one. He is in the point. So, I mean, definitely going to be in an advantageous position. But, I mean, he went from 3-5 to currently 9-5. Vanity doing a great job. He's got Reality in front of him, locking it down still. Reality is going to be dropping those. Rocket is going to be picking up 2. Still, Vanity going to be getting all this time. Can he get double digits? Yes, that's going to be 10. Looking for 11, but no, it's going to be Maddie that is going to be shutting him down.
Like you said, you feel spoiled. You're watching this, and you're just like, that's the St. Edwards effect. You see someone go on an 8 or 9 streak, which is impressive anytime, and you're like, those are rookie numbers, you know? That's just nothing crazy. At 216 to 36, this has just been a show, and all we can do is sit back and enjoy it. 24-8 out of Eons, triple positive. Streaks getting called in just to try and back these players off of this hill, but you really just need to take time here and there. knowing the St. Edward squad, they don't want to waste any more time than they have to. They want to close this one out and get to 250.
No, precisely, and it's going to be Vanity trying to break the hold in the mailroom coming out from UNM. I mean, they've done a nice job of getting some points right here, right now, and that's going to be a good hold coming out of Maddie. He does get traded out by Eons. Eons is going to be down low. It looks like they are going to be picking up a couple of kills, and that means St. Edward's going to be controlling yet again as Eons going insane inside the point, and now he's going to be pushing out to try and get these rotational kills because they are spawning up near next. But guess what? Even though you can't win it on this hill, you can get within 4 points, and that's not what this squad in UNM wants to let happen. As you can see, number 7, he is going to be trying to contest this scrap time, but no, that is not going to be the case, and they are going to be getting all of it now. Even though the UNM does have the spawns for next, it's all going to take one break from St. Edwards, and this one's all done.
Street comes in, gets information, tries to get a player pick, but Maddie's going to find one in the feed on this early rotation. But as we see 2 open up, it's just a matter of not if, but when. 3 go down, make that the 4th. Eon's on the hill. And that'll do it here for map number 1. About as quick as we could talk about how good that was. It's going to be over. St. Edwards playing against the best of the best, doing what only the best of the best can do.
Listen.
100-point win.
Listen. If you just came out, that was almost a 200-point win. Like,
I'm sorry, yeah, no, I can't 200-point win. That sounded so crazy that you just corrected that, but that's accurate. I was way wrong there. 200 points, so even more devastating than I had realized. I just, what a show.
My goodness, 28 kills, and I think he had like, I don't even know how many deaths he had. Either way, what a showing coming out right here. 28 and 10 from Eons. My goodness, 24 of them non-traded kills. Absolute insanity coming out of Eons right there. I mean, this squad, I got to be honest, St. Edwards, if you're going to be bouncing back from a loss, that's the way to do it right there. I mean, this is this squad showing, listen, we deserve to be in the top 10. Let's not play. Let's not mess around a little bit. Yes, we're 12 today. That is not going to be what we are at the start of next week. And I mean, they're trying to prove that easily right now. If this carries over to the search and destroy, I mean, we might be seeing 2 early hot 3-0s on Bravo.
Yeah, and it's just giving me feelings of an angry FaZe team where how often do FaZe after a loss come back and just, you don't want to be the next team that plays them. I mean, the St. Edward squad took their only 2 losses in this stage. You don't want to be the team that plays them next. Again, New Mexico, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be one of these top teams able to take this hit and bounce back and keep going. And I look to see that here in game number 2. But again, based on how that start was and how monumental that lead and that landslide victory was, again, this just gives me a semblance of a angry FaZe where it's like, you don't want to be the team that plays them after, because it's just unfortunately going to be a dominant run. And with St. Edwards looking to, like you said, crack into that top 10, they're trying to make a case.
Yeah, precisely. And I mean, now, heading to this map number 2, we just get to see exactly what these squads are made of. I mean, we're going to be heading on, if we go ahead and check real quick, Boat Cage, that's where we're going to be heading to. So it's going to be getting hot and heavy. And I mean, honestly, for UNM, that's probably not good for them, because it's going to be a lot of fast A pushes out of St. Edwards. And I'm not sure how UNM is going to be able to stop it.
I think how UNM stop it is you, first of all, just completely wipe that from memory. Just say, hey, that was just an unfortunate map 1. We're just going to look ahead to map number 2. I think how they stop the bleeding here, and I say that, it feels weird saying that after they've only lost 1 map, but with how just clinical that was, it feels like you do have to stop some sort of bleeding. You can't let this momentum continue. So for me and for them on this Bocage, yeah, like you said, it's going to be a lot of fast interactions and gunfights you've got to be ready to take. That's the first thing. But anywhere St. Edwards gives you an opening, not only do you have to be ready to take it, but you have to execute. It's one thing to be ready to do it, but if you drop the ball and you don't get the kills, it's all for nothing. So you have to be, you're the best of the best. You're at the top for a reason. Anywhere St. Edwards gives you an edge, you've got to take it. You've got to roll with it and try to make something out of nothing, because this squad, they don't make mistakes often, and when they do, you have to be ready to capitalize. Yeah, and I mean, the good news for UNM is that I don't think there's ever been a 15 kill streak in the history of Search and Destroy in competitive. So, I mean, hey, if it does happen, I mean, honestly, at that point, I don't even know what to say. Honestly, Eons just absolutely went insane in the last map. So let's see if he can carry it over into this one right here, right now. I mean, the fact that they had so many streaks in their back pocket, and I think they only called in 1 that entire time. They might have not called in any, honhonestly. But I mean, either way, that's what it was at the very end, kind of like a, just cherry on top at this point. Yeah.
200-point victory. Like, that does not happen a lot in the CCL, especially not in Stage 2, especially not in Tier 1. So, I mean, right here, right now, St. Edwards trying to show the levels, and maybe UNM rethinking of whether or not they should have been in Tier 1, because, I mean, currently they're sitting at 0-4 in this Stage 2. So I mean, right now, definitely not going to be in the place that they want to be at least for now. But hey, listen, let's go ahead and see what's going to be happening right here, right now. And hey, listen, shout out to production as well. Everyone in production doing a great job. Hey, everyone else, shout out to all you guys. You guys doing great, killing it back there.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful night of Call of Duty thus far. St. Edwards, even at the top, you're still going to have the better teams at the top, and someone's got to unfortunately round out the bottom. And again, that's not to say that's New Mexico in the slightest. New Mexico's a team that can bounce back in the search and destroy and draw this series up 1-1. But St. Edwards, anytime that they are on stream or on the board for a match, they're going to be at the top. And as they open up with 3-0 here on Bacage, this is exactly how you alluded this going.
Okay. They just played defense like it was offense. They just swarmed out and flooded all to Barn, and they all pinched out that entire side. Vanity was already on the flank, already behind Barn. That was literally the quickest. They did that like it was a hard point break or something. That was absolutely beautiful.
Just the squad's levels above right now. They just can do what they want, and whenever you are playing with the confidence and aggression that they know they're able to, every single one of these players, I would trust any of them to win any 1v1, and that's exactly what they do. They take all these 1v1s, they're throwing mixed looks at teams, they're trying to get an opening. It's just, whenever you have teams on edge and playing scared and timid, you can do whatever you want, and that's exactly what we're seeing St. Edwards do here early.
Literally doing what they want. They're going B. Who goes B? Nobody. St. Edwards is. Guess what? They're going to get the bomb down as well. They're feeling good. They've got the kills. I mean, I don't even know what to say. They're doing the unthinkable. They are doing whatever they want on the map. Vanity frying people down low in tunnels after getting the plan. Reality over here pistoling people. Like, at this point, I don't even know. Roque, good luck. This squad is vibing.
They're looking just untouchable at the moment. We're only 2 rounds into the search and destroy, and it was a clean 4 down on defense, and then a quick plant on B for offense. Now, you isolate 2 1v1s there and win them, but with 10 seconds left and really 3 seconds to make a play on the bomb, whether you find these kills or not, that's going to be the round for St. Edwards. They run off with 2 quick ones and are up 2-0.
This one's starting off rough. Gotta be honest, if I'm UNM, this is not the start that they wanted. They just let this squad go B. Like, round 1. Like, that is unacceptable on Bacage defense, search and destroy. That is just not something that, I mean, honestly, you see a lot of like the fact that they went B and made it successful. They understood where the player was. They soloed him out. They perfectly coordinated their stuns to understand where those players were guarding B. I mean, I don't know if that's just VOD review or what it is, but this St. Edwards squad is literally reading them like a book right now.
They are, and they hit you with a fast look on defense to get the squad wipe, and now you kind of play slower on offense if you're UNM to anticipate that. But it's going to be these players ready. Their breakoff was 1 top side, 1 bottom side, 2 in grandmas. Eon's going to find the grenade, and they just, again, I keep saying it, but doing what they want. They're comfortable in any position on the map. UNM do respond to stop the bleeding with 2 of their own, but that could be all for nothing. You've got to close out this round.
Yeah, precisely. Reality is going to be able to pick up 1, but that's all he's going to be able to get is UNM is going to be able to answer back for the first time on this offensive side, and that was a big offensive win coming out of them. And I mean, honestly, if I'm the squad in St. Edwards, I might be thinking, okay, we played that defense slow. Maybe we should have just played it fast yet again. But I mean, either way, a nice offensive win going to be coming out for UNM.
I do like the pacing switch up from St. Edwards to give them different looks, but like you said, now you know that, okay, the fast round worked, the slow one didn't. Maybe we go back to that on defense, or maybe they'll try it on offense. We'll see here, but New Mexico able to take that slower look, and that's the pacing that they would prefer. So I think St. Edwards is going to recognize that and try to fly at them a little more often, bring the gunfights to them early, and as we see a 4 hit here on A, 3 players are here ready for the team. First blood battle going down.
Just right now, it is going to be 1 player that is going to be dropping in, going to be Vanity, as Dahmers has complete control right now. I mean, this bomb is in dire straits. Not exactly sure who's going to be able to grab this one. It's going to be extremely hard for St. Edwards at this point. But they pick up 2. That was the answer that they needed. It was perfectly coordinated, and now player number 4 is going to need to go big. He's going to need to get this kill. He is. All that's going to be left is going to be Thresh now in the 1v2. He understands where Matt is going to be on that tank, so it looks like he's going to be looping around. I like this. Do the big brain play. Say, you know what? I'm not going to be coming the obvious way. I'm going to try and get an easy angle, and right now it's just going to be all about COD timing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if he gets good or bad, and he's got it good, and he spots 1. Can he spot the second going up the ladder? That's going to be it, as St. Edwards are going to be able to get the big win going up 3-1, and that's what I'm talking about. Make the smart play. That was absolutely incredible.
Made the smart play and got the timing. You called that to a T. I was about to compliment how I like seeing New Mexico play that together. It's hard to play together whenever someone's caught climbing a ladder and the timing is Thresh coming around the corner to shoot you there. So again, a heads up play from Thresh to recognize on the map where he needs to be to play that off angle where they're not expecting, catches them doing just that, unaware of his presence and where he was and positioning on the map. We're going to see a flood here mid-map. St. Edwards taking a lot of map control here in the mid area.
Yeah.
Going to look to try to push these people out barn and do what they did round 1.
Ooh, and there's a lot of damage going down, but nobody dropping on the side of St. Edwards. And I mean, locking down this middle area is going to be huge, as you stated, but Thresh is going to be able to get in the back lines, and Thresh picks up 2. He's on a 5 streak right now. This is going to be huge. Eons picks up another one. All that's going to be left is Roque, and he is going to be a man on an island. And honestly, right now, he was looking for Thresh, but he can't find him. Thresh slipped out, and now he's going to be dropping yet again. St. Edwards. Oh my goodness, what a turn of events that was. Up 4-1 now. This squad is not looking to be stopped.
They aren't, and when you can't find your ones on the map in S&D, it makes it very hard to stay alive in rounds. Where New Mexico have found success, it's been when they slowed the gameplay down and got their picks and played their lives. Whenever St. Edwards dials the speed up at all, this New Mexico team crumbles. They just can't handle it. And St. Edward has way too much map presence and pressure by the time they're able to adjust. So that's what I'd like to see them keep doing to try to close this one out. Just being 2 rounds away, going up 2-0 in the series. New Mexico, they've got to do something crazy.
There's no way they're going to be again. They're doing it. They just went through mid, and now they have up top B control. All they got to do is take out Solar, but Solar goes big. This is going to be exactly what UNM needed, making it a 3v2 advantage. They've got the bomb down, but it is going to be Thresh that's already in the back lines. Thresh is now on a 6 spree, so he does have that strafe. Now he's just going to be able to get that glide bomb pretty soon. He is in the back. Reality needs to win this 1v1 against Thresh when they do meet each other. It is going to be massive. If they ever do meet each other, it looks like Reality might be taking a different route, as he is going to spot Roque up top. He's trying not to let him out, but Roque is going to be able to slip through with some nice timing on that. Still going to be a 2v3 disadvantage coming in for St. Edwards. Nobody has picked up that bomb yet. I thought Thresh was going to be able to grab it right there. I thought he scooped in and grabbed it, but no, that's not going to be the case. Now, just going to be looking for a player, looking for a pick.
And it just feels like with this team, they're in a 2v3. It still somehow feels like they have the advantage for whatever reason. Maybe that's because Thresh is on a 3 or on a 6 and his teammates are alive with him. They are going to scoop the bomb B and get it planted here. So 3v2 retake coming in for St. Edwards, and you cannot let these players have 1v1s because they will win them. We're going to see a 1v2, but with bomb down, you just have to play the time if you're Thresh, and if anyone can play the map and the time better, it's going to be this guy.
Yeah, the thing is also is that he has streaks. That's the thing, is that he definitely has streaks, but he guesses the wrong way. That's the 50-50 that he put himself in. And I mean, honestly, in my opinion, you want to keep moving in that situation. Yes, the 50-50, it could be the smart play if they come the right way. But I mean, if you keep on moving, guess what? You catch them by surprise. You win the gunfight if you feel like you got the better gunny in that situation. Either way, though, I mean, just a great win coming out of UNM to answer back. That was exactly what they needed at the perfect time. I mean, honestly, they stopped the bleeding, but that doesn't stop the fact that Thresh is sitting fully streaked out in this map.
And only needing 2 rounds to close it out, you know that could come in at any time with them being on defense. They could just give up a bomb site for free, use that for the retake. They have so many options at their disposal, but they're going to go 2-2 to either site. UNM just going to open things up, try to look for a pick. Again, where St. Edwards have given them that, they've taken advantage, but whenever players, you let them fly up in your spawn for free and get a pick, that's when it spells trouble. That's when they start to collapse, and it's been New Mexico who haven't been able to adjust. So now we go 2 for 1 in the feed, pin back at barn. This is clinical St. Edwards defense.
Yeah, precisely. And now Roque just trying to find a way to squeeze through the cracks. But I mean, the fact that the bomb is already down In bottom grandmas, I mean, that is going to be very, very difficult for Dahmers and company. Roque is going to be dropping, and now they already understand where Dahmers is, so that's what this squad in St. Edwards does. They swarm, and that's what they are going to do right there, going up 5-2 now, looking to go up 2-0. As, I mean, we talk about it, that 4-2 round count, that round is the most important round in Call of Duty.
It is, and you have the streak, and it almost feels like the Berlin hardpoint, right? Where we even questioned if they used it, and if they do, it might just be to get it out and get a pick. It's something you can absolutely find a kill with on Bacage. Maybe we'll see it called in, or maybe they'll just bully ball and try to win it mano a mano. We'll see how they go here, but with Rush Lane down in the back, I'm gonna think he's waiting for this timer to dwindle down, get the glide in, get the info passed along, and go up 2-0.
Precisely. And I mean, right now, Thresh going to be calling in this glide bomb. Let's see who he's going to be able to find. Calls out one in the back, and they're going to be rotating over to B. They understand, okay, it's only one player. Perfect. You got it right at where the door was. That was a perfect glide bomb coming in from Thresh. Now they should have full B control if they want it. It looks like Vanity is going to be able to get this bomb down perfectly. And that's what I'm talking about. Now they've cleared out that solo player, and now it's just going to be all about locking it down. And if I'm UNM, this is going to be very, very difficult to retake.
It is, because you have Eon sitting in your spawn. So the option for a rotation is not very possible. Rocket's going to pick up one, and Eon's position is discovered. But you've got to think these players, just having them pinned here in this bottom right corner, it's got to be possible. But Maddie's going to slip through the back and find one. So you need to get these kills. Dahmers is going to get the other. So now,
but they
in
don't
a
know where he
2v1
is.
situation with no time for the bomb, do they even have a chance to do it? You got to hop it. You got to stick it. Eons pops them both, closes the round. That's going to be 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, right now, this one is going quickly. I mean, St. Edwards with the nice win over UNM, and that's what I'm talking about, a coordinated B hit, using those streaks, and that's why I said it's going to be a problem, because anytime a player is fully streaked out on this map right here, that offensive end, you a lot of times can get that B plant for free, and that's exactly what you saw right there. Perfect glide bomb usage out of Thresh, and I mean, honestly, just supporting his squad in a perfect way in that last round. You see the damage coming out, 13-10 out of Thresh alone. Great stuff coming out for sure of this squad. I mean, just a solid victory. I mean, 250-56 in the hard point, and now we're looking at the search and destroy. It's 6-2. I mean, heading into the control, things are looking very, very good for the St. Edwards squad.
They're definitely looking good. That was just fundamental defense out of St. Edwards. What I like about this squad is it shows maturity in a sense that you know you can slay out this team. You know you've been slaying out this team the entire series thus far, but I love how on their offensive rounds they still played fundamental. They got the bomb down. They found themselves in situations where they were down life count but had the clock in their advantage, and they were able to get some of those rounds. And so it just shows that, yeah, you have the ability to maybe go and hunt these kills and slay them out, but they're not relying on that. And that's what I like seeing from them in this top tier, is that they're still playing good, sound hardpoint. It's easy whenever, or S&D and hardpoint, but it's easy whenever you get good and you know you can dominate teams like that in the kill column, to get away from that gameplay, that objective gameplay. They didn't. They stuck to the course. They slayed out when they could and had the openings, but they still played fundamental S&D, and I really like that from them.
Oh, precisely. And now we're going to be heading into this control. And I mean, honestly, looking at this one, I think that it could go straight up the way of St. Edwards. I mean, listen, they're the number 12 power ranking seed coming into this one, and they are looking like every bit of it. They are really trying to prove that point that they deserve to be in the top 10. And I'm not sure what they were the prior week, but I'm guessing that based off their loss, they did drop down a bit to that 12 spot, just, you know, basing on how rankings usually go. So, you know, I'm sure they're going to be looking to get right back into that single digit category. And I think that so far they have been showing absolute dominance and showing that they definitely deserve to be in the single digit category for sure. And if they can close this one out with, you know, a 3-1 or a 3-0 potentially on this Tuscan, I mean, we've seen this past weekend, Tuscan control is definitely winnable on the offensive side.
It is. It's, of course, the more favorable map to do that, but you really can, and we've seen teams hit B off the break, and they're able to get a good stack in, and even if you can get 1 or 2 ticks of progression, that's going to serve to only aid you as the round goes on. So I do expect St. Edwards to take this in a 3-0 fashion. I expect them to pull off an offense and get 2 defenses, maybe a 3-1 if New Mexico is able to clutch up here and there. Again, we saw them in the search and destroy take a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, whenever you add everything up, cancel everything out, it's going to be St. Edward's still coming out net positive on top of all of that. And no matter what New Mexico's been able to throw back in response, it's just not amounted to enough.
Oh, yeah, precisely. I mean, I think that right now, this UNM squad, they just need to dig deep. I mean, right here, anytime that you're looking at a reverse sweep situation to not go 0-5 to start out stage number 2, I mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, you're going to be, in those comms, you're going to be saying, hey, look, guys, look, one map at a time. That is all we need to do. We just got to take this one map at a time. And it's going to start with this control. Yes, we are currently 6-5 in control. Yes, the other team is 6-2 in control. So, right now, St. Edwards is definitely looking like the better overall squad, but this is the thing. St. Edwards has still lost 2 controls at the end of the day, so they can bleed in it. You just got to take advantage of that and try to get this win right here, right now.
Yeah, you're going to need your in-game leader to step up and get everyone back on track, like you had mentioned. It starts with, of course, one game at a time in control, but even looking at a more zoomed-in picture, it's going to be one round at a time. Look at everything 0-0. Do what you can control, which is win your ones and make sure you're rotating on the map where you need to. Of course, that's easier said than done. No one's going to go out and flawlessly be able to do that. Win your ones, and you'll start to see a majority of them stacking up, and you'll start to see the slang start to shift in your way. So just start to win some gunfights, get some kills under your belt to be like, okay, I'm feeling good now. It's been a quick series thus far. Maybe they're not even warmed up yet. I know that sounds a little bit crazy to say, but maybe they're going to start getting rolling here. Again, we've seen them try to put up a fight here and there in the hard point, here and there in the search and destroy. Of course, they have no choice at this point, but they've got to start doing something that adds up to a bit more here in control.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got to see that teamwork, that coordination come out. I mean, we saw it in a couple of rounds on the S&D, but overall, I mean, St. Edwards, they were just surgically cutting through this UNM squad. I mean, it seemed like all their plays were working out. Even their B hit on their first offensive round was absolutely flawless. I mean, they were able to solo that one player out, toss their stuns in each location. I think I saw 3 stuns go out. They figured out exactly where that player was, and then they challenged him on the head glitch with 2 different people. They each got him weak. They pushed him out. It was easy bread and butter, and I mean, that's what you want to see is squads being able to do exactly that. And I mean, the St. Edwards squad, they're looking like the real deal right here, right now, and we just got to see if they're going to be able to keep this train rolling because it's looking like a straight-up locomotive, and it's not going to be stopped anytime soon, at least from my point of view.
I completely agree. And whenever you are the team that's very much in the driver's seat as far as map positioning and pacing of the series goes, you can throw those different looks like the B hit on your first offense in Bacage because, again, of course, you trust that the ability you've been able to have to win your gunfights thus far, but when you're in control of the pace, yeah, let's throw them a B look. Yeah, let's try to keep them guessing. You want to keep the other team on their toes. That's what St. Edwards has done thus far. You open Bacage with a B hit, like you said. Who does that? Well, apparently St. Edwards does. And if they want to crack into the top 10, they've got to be able to show different looks like that. So beyond playing for the top of this pool in this division, they're just trying to play to crack into that top 10. They're trying to make a statement. They've seen the top 5 before. I believe when I casted them, they were fighting for 3. They were in 3 or 4. So they've seen the top 5 before. They're trying to show that those 2 losses, though they were tough, they are a squad that deserves to be, like you said, in those single digits. They're playing to make a statement tonight, and if they can close out this control in dominant fashion, I think they're on their way to doing that.
Yeah, precisely. And I mean, as we are going to be loading into this beauty of a map that is Tuscan, I mean, honestly, I don't really know what to say if I'm UNM. Like, you just got to be extremely positive. Just say, listen, guys, we got this. We're good. You said it. The IGL, the in-game leader, he's got to be extremely vocal right now, letting them know, listen, yes, we are going up against the number 12 power rank squad in the country in St. Edwards, but that does not mean that we are going to be able to go, that we'll be going silently into the night. I mean, they've got a chance right here in this series. We know this St. Edwards squad. They've taken a couple losses recently, so why not be able to reverse sweep them right here, right now? Yes, the first 2 maps were pretty rough, but that does not mean that this third one is going to end up with the same story. So we're going to be kicking things off this time. UNM is going to be on the defensive side.
Yeah, New Mexico, it's just a matter of, even if you are getting outplayed anything else, just because you're going up against a squad that's good does not mean you can step away from your gameplay. You've got to, of course, they're going to try to force you to play different than what your play style is. You've got to try to stay true to what works for you guys. Adapt where you can to St. Edwards, but as we see these players fall on the B site, a stack coming in, it's going to be 1 tick of progression already over at this B site. And New Mexico, again, just playing timid. You see these arrows kind of hesitating. They don't want to take these gunfights, and so far they're going the way of St. Edwards.
Oh, my goodness. There's no way. They're 2.5. They just got B. They just got B. They just got B. And now they have 2:15 to get the easiest point. I mean, I think this is easier than A on Gavutu. So, I mean, if St. Edwards lose this, this is going to be the greatest hold ever from UNM. I got to be honest.
Yeah, that would be very impressive. And what's the beauty of control is having the clock. You just have to get the kills at the right time. You don't need to constantly be battling in the kill feed. Now, sometimes more than others, it does warrant that. But if you get the kills at the right time, the clock can work out in your favor. Of course, Tuscan being a smaller map and A being the much closer point, going 3 for 1 in the feed is only going to serve to aid St. Edwards as they're now at 2 ticks of progression, pushing these players deeper into spawn and looking to take this one in a very dominant fashion.
They just had the most coordinated push I've ever seen. Instead of just straight up pushing the front head-on way into A, they said, you know what, we're going to send 2 players all the way through mid, through the backside of Church, all the way through to make sure we get control of their spawns, and they did a perfect team-coordinated pinch. The whole kill feed went the way of Vanity, who's currently sitting on a 6 spree. That was a perfectly coordinated push coming out. That means your team comms are on point. That means everything is there. And I mean, honestly, with Dahmers at 0-4 and Solar at 1-5 to start things off, UNM is not going to be the best position to win this one.
And it's so great watching these teams that sit, you know, in that top power ranking position, because it's just watching this gameplay. It's so elite, and they just have their strats so flushed out that they seem to be able to execute whatever they want, whenever they want. Now, we're going to see 1 tick of progression coming early for New Mexico, and that's a good way to start. But as you get wiped off the point, now you've got to find a way to make an adjustment. You lose your opening over on the B side over at P5, as we're going to see players popping 2 pieces in the feed, and now you're back to square one. You're all spawning roof. Yeah, you get the opening there, but as these players start to rotate and collapse for St. Edwards, you've got a long way to go.
Yeah, and that is going to be Vanity that is currently on that 7 spree. It's going to be Eon's on a 4 of his own. Let's see if he can match it and get fully streaked out as well. He's going to find 5 right here. Oh, he's not! What? Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, spoke too soon. Vanity is going to still be on 7, though, regardless, which is going to be huge for his squad. I mean, honestly, St. Edwards right now, they're doing a nice job, but it is currently going to be B that is starting to get some progression headed that way, but Thresh with the nice nade is going to take Maddie out on that point. You can see right now they're trying to lock down B, but the thing is, they haven't gotten either site. They haven't gotten A yet. Yes, they've got 1 tick of progression, but you can see player 2, Vanity, he's just going to be sitting back here waiting. He's fully streaked out. He can just get them off of A whenever he wants. So all this squad needs to do is just lock down B for the next 30 seconds, and they're most likely going to win without even being able to cap A or B.
Look at these 3 players. I mean, there is like a quarter of the map left for UNM to come up off of spawn. You could not be spawning further to the left. These players, an absolute pitchfork of a cutoff. The 3-pronged defensive hold for them. You're coming up roof side. You've got to win these gunfights. And with players taking down 2 before they even die on the side of St. Edwards, it's just a hard one and a tough night for you. If you're New Mexico, you just got to keep trying to chip away.
Yeah, extremely unfortunate. I mean, this one right here, right now, is looking all St. Edwards. I mean, I was talking about the perfect positioning that they had, but the positioning didn't even matter because guess what? The kills were so in favor of St. Edwards that wasn't ever going to come into play. I think it was like 20-6 at one point. Like that was just absolutely a masterclass on the defensive side. And now we get to see St. Edwards back on the offensive side. They've got streaks on Thresh. They've got streaks on Vanity, who's still currently sitting on a 9 spree because he was in the back of the map at A and never needed a challenge.
In this, I expect this to go the way of TDM. They very much have that capability, but as I say that, I also see them capturing both points. Again, I like that they do play the objective still, where they could run around and start to get a little ego chally off of things. They still try to do what works, because they know they're going to play teams where they're going to have to not be afraid to play that objective. They have 1 tick of progression over at A, presence at B that finally got wiped. So if you're New Mexico, a better start than you had the last time around, but as these players start to stack on this A point, it's still going to be well over 2 minutes to work with.
Yeah, precisely, and I don't think that there's going to be any type of a hold going to be coming in from UNM, and that is not going to be the case. 2:20 on the clock for St. Edwards to find a way to get over toward B, and you can see it's going to be player number 2 in the back in Vanity, who was able to pick up a couple, and I mean, now he's going to be that thorn in the side that I love to talk about, who is going to be that player that these guys are going to be looking for in the back of the map. They're not going to be feeling safe until they are being able to pick off Vanity, but listen, they're fully streaked out. Thresh and Vanity both are fully streaked out. They can call these in at any point and get this Solar guy off. And there it is. Okay, I was about to say, like, why are you not calling your streaks at this point? There you go. Break in the back, get Rock A off, and that's going to be the kill feed going all blue. And they should be able to start to get some ticks of progression in right here, right now, as it is going to be a 2v1 on site, but that is going to be Maddie taking him out. And now, I mean, with the early trades coming out, it's still going to be a battle. UNM still holding on.
They are, and this is the most even the life count's been. And now having nearly 2 minutes of game
Oh!
Man, oh man, Thresh. I mean, what was a close life count now is blown wide open behind none other than St. Edward's Phenom Thresh. 20-7, streaks coming in, forcing everyone church. Reality's got back tank control, and that's gonna be a good night.
Yeah, good night. I'll see you later. St. Edward's capping things off. Thresh with the nasty turn on to end the night off. Oh my goodness. Whew! I mean, Dahmer's right now, I think he went 1-15 to finish things off. That is just that is just unfortunate through 3 rounds. Yeah, 1-16 actually. I mean, that's just unfortunate on his side. Definitely want to see some better things out of him in the future. But I mean, either way, this squad in St. Edwards are looking like the real deal. My goodness, gravy gracious. I mean, they dropped a total of what, 58 points.
26.
58 points through the entire series. They gave up 56 points in hardpoint. They gave up 2 rounds in search and destroy, and they gave up 0 in control. This squad right here, that is the definition of a shutout, if you ask me.
It is, and everyone, again, you see St. Edwards at 12, you know, yeah, they took losses to the 2 teams that are leading this pool right now. You see that 12 and you know it's not going to stand, and with a performance like tonight, like you said, with a shutout like tonight, again, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to find their way back in the top 10. Maybe not after this week, depending on how their next match goes, but they're definitely making that case to say, hey, we got bounced because we took a couple losses, but don't worry, we've done our homework, and that's not going to happen again. Against the best of the best, they are playing to the best of the best, and just taking care of business.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, listen, this is tier 1, and I mean, St. Edwards are showing exactly just that they are here, they belong right in it, and yes, they did take a loss last week, and guess what? They're looking at this week saying, listen, this is new beginnings. We took those losses as lessons, and they're showing exactly what kind of lessons they can give out against UNM today. But I mean, hey, listen, the Lobos either way, let's see if they can bounce back, because guess what? They are in tier 1 for a reason. They did very well during stage 1, and I mean, now in stage 2, it's just all about showing and improving. Listen, somebody's got to be at the bottom of the group in stage 2. So, you know, hopefully UNM can bounce back and it ends up not being them with currently an 0-5 start to stage 2 for them. Hopefully they'll be able to bounce back in the future, but props to St. Edwards either way.
Yeah, that's something you just can't highlight enough, is how well they played. Again, you know New Mexico is going to go and hit the VOD view, do what they need to try to improve.
Yeah.
They just, again, going forward, have to take it 1 round, 1 match at a time. St. Edwards are just showing just the ceiling that is seemingly untouchable for them. The skill that this team shows with still this much of the season left, and their potential to continue to show upward trajectory is unbelievable. And again, for New Mexico, you just got to find a bounce back. Start by getting a good, map win under your belt. No matter how small you have to start against teams this good, take any win that you can and just build upon that. And I know the squad and these 4 guys can definitely do that. It's just going to be a matter of hitting that mental regain and bouncing back.
Oh, yeah, precisely. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, either way, though, I mean, these squads, they gave us a nice show. I mean, shout out to St. Edwards. They absolutely did incredible tonight. I mean, I'm extremely impressed. My first time casting them, and they absolutely blew me away. So big props to them. Can't say enough about them. And I mean, hey, listen, I mean, that's going to be it for me. I mean, it was quick. I got 6 maps tonight, 2 3-0s, and I'm out of here. They're getting me out quick. So, I mean, hey, listen, either way, it was a pleasure casting tonight. Listen, we're not going to be done, though. We're not going to be done. We still got 1 more match left tonight. So, listen, we're going to be getting back into that match right after this short break. So, you guys are not going to be wanting to go anywhere. Cash, it was a pleasure casting with you.
Pleasure casting with you. Yeah, I'll be back with Corn here on the other side of this break, but we got more COD action coming your way.
Big time. Don't go anywhere.